Listen to me. It was never about them. It's you against you. You think your biggest enemy is out there. Nah, it's the voice inside that said, I'm tired. The one that says, I can't. The one that said, I can't. The one that says, maybe tomorrow, not next week, right now. You wake up every day and you're in a battle. Not with your boss, not with your haters. You're in a war with the version of you that wants to stay comfortable. Comfort is a liar. Comfort will kill your dream. Comfort will let you survive when you were made to thrive. Every single day you got two choices: evolve or repeat, grow or stay stuck, win or whine. And some of y'all, let's be real, you losing, not because you're weak, not because you don't have talent, but because you keep letting that old version of you win. You keep feeding the doubt, feeding the fear and the fear. Feeding the excuses. You were born with greatness inside you, but greatness ain't free. It costs discipline. It costs sacrifice. It costs hunger. And some of you ain't hungry enough. You're full of mediocrity, satisfied with average, while the world waits for your greatness. Let me tell you something. It's you versus the version of you that quit too soon. You versus the one that keeps saying, I'm not good enough. You versus the one that rather scroll than grind. You versus the one that talks but don't walk. You want to change your life? Then kill the old you. Bury the fear. Crush the laziness. Destroy the doubt. Because the real you is a beast. The real you is a warrior. The real you ain't afraid of pain. He uses it. She uses it to push harder, go further, fight longer. This life, it don't owe you nothing. But you owe everything to the person you were created to become. So get up, fight, and win the battle within. Because it was never them, it was always you against you. You keep looking around, thinking somebody out there is stopping you. You think your haters are holding you back. You think it's your circumstances. You think it's your family, your background, your school, your boss, your city. Nah, let me tell you the truth right now. None of that is your real problem. The only thing standing in the way of your greatness is you. It's you against you. The version of you that hits the snooze button. The version of you that starts and stops, but never finishes. The version of you that talks about change, but never walks into it. You keep looking out the window when you need to be looking in the mirror. That person looking back at you, that's the only enemy that's ever mattered. That's the one you got to defeat every single day. Because that version of you, the one that makes excuses, the one that's afraid, the one that chooses comfort over commitment, that version is stealing your destiny. You think life is unfair? You're right. Life ain't fair. But that was never the point. It's not supposed to be easy. You were given the power to overcome, but you're too busy blaming everybody else to take control. Let me break it down for you. Nobody's gonna hand you success. Nobody's gonna give you discipline. You gotta take it. You gotta want it bad enough to go to war with yourself. Because this ain't a game. This is your life. This is your future. And you keep sabotaging it every single time you choose to stay the same. You were born to be great, but you're choosing to be average. You're choosing it. It's not your circumstances, it's your decision. Every day you decide whether you're gonna rise or fall. You decide whether the weak version of you gets to win or the warrior version shows up. And that warrior, that dog, that beast inside of you, he's hungry, he's ready, but you keep locking him in the cage. You keep feeding the coward, feeding the fear, feeding the part of you that's scared of pain. But let me tell you something. Pain is the path. Pressure is the process. And growth only happens when you fight the inner enemy. I'm talking about the part of you that's addicted to comfort. That version of you that says it's too hard. That version that quits when it gets tough. That's the real opposition. So you can talk all day long about how bad you want it, but until you start defeating that inner voice, you'll stay stuck. You'll keep getting beat by a ghost of who you used to be. A ghost that was never meant to make it to your next level. That ghost is loud. It's familiar. It's familiar. It tells you lies like you'll never change, or you're not good enough, or you don't have what it takes. And the problem, you keep listening. You keep giving it power. Let me tell you the truth right now. That voice only has the power you give it. And it's time to stop feeding it. It's time to shut it down. It's time to rise up and say, enough, stop, enough blaming, enough waiting. You don't need permission. You don't need someone to save you. You don't need everything to be perfect. What you need is to make a decision that today the old you dies. The weak you, done. The scared you, bury. The lazy you, finished because the new you, the hungry you, the focused you, the unstoppable you, that version has been waiting for you to show up, waiting for you to stop lying to yourself, waiting for you to declare, I'm done being my own worst enemy. The battle was never about them. The challenge has always been internal. You are the lock, but you're also the key. You are the wall, but you're also the wrecking ball. Everything you need is already inside of you, but you gotta fight for it. Every morning, every hour, every breath, you gotta choose to win against yourself. The moment you do that, that's the moment everything changes. You keep chasing comfort like it's your best friend. But I promise you, comfort is a traitor. Comfort is a setup. Comfort don't care about your goals. Comfort don't care about your future. Comfort don't care that you got dreams that you cry about at night. Comfort is the silent killer of purpose. You don't even realize what it's doing to you because it feels good, it's soft, it's warm, it's safe. But that's the trap. That's how it gets you. You stay in bed 5 more minutes. You skip that workout. You postpone that dream just one more day. And little by little, you die. Little by little, your purpose fades. You say, I just need rest. No, you need results. You say, I deserve a break. No, you deserve the life you say you wanted, and you can't get that life hiding behind convenience. You can't get that life living easy. Listen to me. Greatness was never built in the comfort zone. Comfort don't produce champions. Pressure does. Discomfort does. Sacrifice does. You want to be the best? Then stop playing with your potential. Stop running from the fire. Get in the fire and let it refine you. Let it burn off the weakness. Let it burn off the fear. Let it burn off the excuses. The fire won't destroy you. It'll define you. But you got to stop avoiding. You got to stop playing safe. Safe don't get remembered. Safe don't change the world. Safe don't build legacies. And I don't know about you, but I didn't come here to be average. Nah, I didn't come here to settle. I came here to break cycles. I came here to be the first. I came here to be the one they talk about when they say, nobody thought he could do it. But I had to make a decision. I had to wake up and say, I'm done with it. Comfort was killing me. It was keeping me soft. It was keeping me weak. And I knew I couldn't step into my power if I kept hiding behind what felt good. The truth is, you got to do what's uncomfortable until it becomes your new normal. You got to train yourself to love the grind, love the pain, love the struggle, not because it feels good, but because of what it produces. Growth don't come from the easy days. Growth comes from the days you want to quit, but don't. From the days you cry and keep going anyway. From the days you got nothing left, but keep showing up. That's where the real transformation happens. That's where the dog gets unleashed. And the more you embrace that, the more unstoppable you become. You stop fearing pain. You stop fearing rejection. You stop fearing failure because you realize all of it is shaping you. All of it is sharpening you. You stop seeing discomfort as punishment and start seeing it as preparation. The world is not going to bend for your comfort. Life is not going to pause until you feel like showing up. The ones who win because they chose purpose over preference, discipline over desire, growth over ease. You got 2 choices every single day. The path of resistance or the path of regret. One is painful now, the other is painful forever. You choose. And don't tell me it's hard. Of course it's hard. That's what makes it worth it. That's what separates the real from the fake, the committed from the casual. If it was easy, everybody would do it. If it's comfortable, there'd be no greatness. You got something inside of you that's begging to come out, but it's trapped behind your comfort. You'll never meet your higher self if you keep serving the lower one. That version of you that loves easy is the same version that's robbing your greatness. And I don't care what anybody told you. You weren't made to settle. You weren't made to hide. You were made to rise. You were made to fight. You were made to grind through the storm and come out stronger on the other side. But it starts with one decision, to let go of what feels good in the moment for what lasts a lifetime. So stop choosing comfort. It's not your friend. It's not your friend. It never was. It's the lie that's keeping you from your next level. Burn it, reject it, run from it. Because the moment you let it go is the moment you finally get free. The loudest voice you'll ever hear is the one inside your own head. Not your teacher, not your parents, not the world. It's you talking to you every single day. And the truth is, most of you are losing the battle because the voice in your head is toxic. It's negative. It's full of fear, doubt, and self-sabotage. That voice is talking you out of everything you were born to do. You could have made that call, but your voice said, what if they reject me? You could have chased that dream, but your voice said, what if I fail? You could have pushed harder in the gym, studied longer for that test, stayed disciplined with your goal. But your voice said, it's okay to stop now. And the worst part, you believed it. You agreed with it. You trusted it. But let me tell you something. Not every thought is yours. Not every voice is right. And not every feeling is your friend. Sometimes that voice is a leftover from years of trauma, from years of being overlooked, underestimated, unloved. That voice was shaped by the moments you got hurt, by the times you fell short, by the lies other people told you that you started repeating to yourself. But hear me, that voice can be reprogrammed. That voice can be retrained. That voice can go from being your worst enemy to your greatest coach. But you gotta put in the work. You gotta speak back. You gotta learn to talk louder than your doubt. You gotta stop letting fear have the final say. You can't let your inner critic run the show because it doesn't know your future. It only knows your past. And that voice, it doesn't care about your greatness. It only cares about keeping you safe. Comfortable, small, it whispers things like, be realistic, or don't get your hopes up. But that's not true. That's fear in disguise. That voice will talk you out of your breakthrough if you let it. That voice will keep you ordinary when you were born to be extraordinary. So what do? You flip it. You flip that voice from critic to coach. And that don't happen overnight. You gotta train it like a muscle. You gotta speak greatness over yourself when nobody else will. You gotta say, I'm built for this. You gotta say, I've come too far to quit now. You gotta say, I might be scared, but I'm not backing down. You see, a coach don't lie to you. A coach calls you higher. A coach doesn't let you slack. A coach demands your best. And when that's your best, when that inner voice starts shifting from tearing you down to building you up, everything changes. You stop asking for permission. You stop waiting on validation. You stop second guessing your every move. Stop showing up like a victim and start walking like a victim and start walking like a victor. It's you, baby. You got the power you've always had, but you've been talking yourself out of it for too long. Enough is enough. Stop giving your mind free rein to sabotage your success. Guard your thoughts. Control the narrative. Speak life, not death. Speak progress, not problems. Speak solutions, not excuses. And I know what you're thinking. It's not that easy. Of course it's not easy, but it's worth it. It's necessary because as long as that voice stays negative, you'll keep shrinking. You'll keep hiding. You'll keep quitting. But when that voice gets aligned with your purpose, your whole life shifts. You go from I hope it to I will. From a maybe someday to from I don't know how to I'll figure it out. You start moving with conviction. You start walking with power. Start living on purpose. And it won't be perfect. That old voice will try to creep back in. It'll whisper, we're not ready, or you're not enough. But this time, you don't agree with it. This time, you answer back. You say, I hear you, but I'm not listening. You say, I've heard that lie before, and I'm not falling for it again. You say, that might have been true yesterday, but today I'm different. Today I rise. Today I rise. Today I fight. Today I win. That's what separates the elite from the average. It's not talent. It's not luck. It's mindset. It's the ability to master the inner conversation. So speak to yourself like someone you love, like someone you believe in, like someone with greatness in their bones. Because at the end of the day, you're going to believe the voice you hear the most. Make sure it's one that pushes you forward, not one that holds you back. You keep waiting on motivation like it's some kind of divine lightning bolt that's going to strike you in the middle of your excuses and wake you up to your greatness. But let me break it to you. Motivation is weak. It's fickle. It's emotional. Motivation don't last. You wake up one day, you feel hyped, you feel ready, and the next day, life punches you in the mouth and the fire's gone. That's why people quit. That's why people fall off. They build their dreams on the shaky foundation of motivation instead of the solid rock of discipline. Because discipline shows up when motivation don't. Discipline is up at 4 a.m. when you don't feel like it. Discipline don't care how tired you are. Discipline don't care about your mood. Discipline don't need a reason, it is the reason. And that's what separates the ones who dream from the ones who do. That's what makes a legend. That's what makes a champion. Not how high you are, but how consistent you are. See, discipline is about doing it when nobody's watching. Discipline is showing up when the crowd is gone, when the applause stops, when nobody's posting you on social media. That's when the real ones grind, because we don't do it for likes. We do it for legacy. And legacy is built on discipline. You don't build a legacy with a burst of motivation. You build it brick by brick, day by day, decision by decision. And that means doing the boring stuff. That means mastering the routine. That means keeping your promises to yourself when it will be easier to quit. You think I feel like getting up every morning and grinding? You think I'm always excited? No, but I do it anyway. Why? Because I made a decision that my goals mean more than my feelings. My vision means more than my comfort. My future means more than today's fatigue. If you want to be great, if you want to get to that next level, then you've got to kill the noise and feed the discipline. You've got to wake up and say, I'm doing it no matter what. Rain or shine, happy or sad, tired or energized. You got to operate on commitment, not emotion. Because if you're only showing up when you feel like it, then you'll never be consistent enough to win. Champions train through pain. Pain. Soldiers march through storms. And lions hunt whether they're hungry or not. Because that's what discipline does. Discipline is that voice in your head that says, get up, when everything in your body says is leap. Discipline is that fire that burns long after the hype dies. That's why discipline is louder than motivation. Because motivation whispers, but discipline roars. Motivation might get you started, but only discipline will get you finished. Discipline is what wakes you up every day and says, oh, let's go again. Discipline don't care about yesterday's success or failure. It only knows one speed, forward. And the truth is, discipline will build you into someone you never thought you could become. It will push you into your destiny. It will stretch you, challenge you, break you, and then rebuild you stronger. You can't be elite without it. You can't rise without it. Because when life hits, and trust me, it will hit. Motivation will run, but discipline will hold the line. Discipline will keep you planted when the storm comes. Discipline will tell you, ooh, we've been here before and we're not folding. And if you want that kind of strength, that kind of resilience, then you better start training it like a muscle. Every rep matters. Every decision matters. Every time you choose to do what you said you would, even when you don't feel like it, you're building the kind of character that can't be bought, can't be broken, can't be moved. You're becoming someone who finishes, someone who doesn't need external hype because the fire burns from within. So stop chasing motivation like it's going to save you. It won't. Discipline will. Decide today that your word means more than your feeling. Decide that your grind is non-negotiable. And when the world looks at you and says, how do you do it every single day? You'll look them in the eye and say, oh, because I don't need motivation. I've got discipline. Excuses, man, they're like lullabies. Soft little lies we sing to ourselves to stay asleep to our own potential. They sound sweet in the moment. They make us feel better about quitting. But let's be real. They don't change nothing. They don't move the needle. They don't build the life you said you wanted. Excuses sound best to the one who's making them, because deep down you want permission to stay the same. That's the truth. You want permission to avoid the pain, to skip the sacrifice, to dodge the responsibility. So you create a story where you're the victim, where it's not your fault, where the timing ain't right, where you didn't have the support, where your background was too hard, where life was unfair. And you tell that story so much you start to believe it's real. It's real. You start to wear it like armor. But hear me, excuses might protect your ego, but they'll never protect your dream. They'll never make you powerful. They'll never make you unstoppable. They'll only keep you stuck. You say, I'm tired. So what? You think the top doesn't get tired? You think champions don't feel fatigue? You think warriors don't wake up sore, drained, and broken, but still choose to rise? They feel it too, but they don't let it become their excuse. They let it become their fuel. You say, I didn't grow up with support. Neither did half the people out here killing it. You say, I don't have the resources. Neither did the ones who built empires from scratch. So what's really stopping you? Not your circumstances, not your environment, not your family. What's stopping you is the story you keep repeating. That story is your prison. You walk around with chains made of words you said to yourself, I can. I'm not ready. Or maybe next year. I don't deserve it. That's not true. That's fear with a megaphone. And the more you listen, the more you shrink. The more you believe it, the more you delay your destiny. You keep praying for a miracle, but God already gave you one. It's called effort. He gave you breath, talent, a mind, and free will. And you using all of that to make excuses instead of moves? You've got to stop giving your pain a podium. You've got to stop giving your past a pass. Yeah, it was hard. Yeah, you were broken. Yeah, they left you, but guess what? You're still here. You're still breathing. You're still capable. You're still chosen. And now it's your job to choose greatness over comfort. So every time you hear that excuse trying to creep in, trying to seduce you with soft words like I take it easy, or maybe tomorrow, you need to talk back. You need to say, not today. You need to say, I've listened to that voice for too long and it got me nowhere. Excuses will always sound better to you than to anyone else because you made them. You wrote the script. But it's time to write a new one. It's time to take the pen back and stop letting pain, fear, and laziness alter your life. Nobody's gonna believe in you more than you. More than you. Nobody's coming to save you. Nobody's gonna hand you your purpose on a silver platter. So stop waiting for validation. Stop waiting for everything to line up. Start moving. Start building. Stop becoming. Stop becoming. The world don't need another excuse maker. It needs a difference maker. It needs someone who says, no matter what, I'll find a way. Someone who says, if I fall, I'll get back up. Someone who says, I'm not looking for easy. I'm looking for results. Every excuse you make is time you could have used building. Every excuse you make is energy you could have used pushing. Every excuse you make is a delay on the life you deserve. So cancel the pity party. Cancel the blame game. Cancel the comfort zone. And if you need a reason, look in the mirror. That's your reason. That's your why. That's the person who has to live with the choices. So choose discipline. Choose effort. Choose now. Choose real over convenient. Choose purpose over pain. Excuses don't live here anymore. And the moment you silence them, the moment you stop giving them a stage, that's when the breakthrough comes. That's when the real grind begins. And that's when you stop running from your greatness and start running toward it. Excuses, man, they're like lullabies, soft little lies we sing to ourselves to stay asleep to our own potential. They sound sweet in the moment. They make us feel better about quitting. But let's be real. They don't change nothing. They don't move the needle. They don't build the life you said you wanted. Excuses sound best to the one who's making them because deep down you want permission to stay the same. That's the truth. You want permission to avoid the pain, to skip the sacrifice, to dodge the responsibility. So you create a story where you're the victim, where it's not your fault, where the timing ain't right, where you didn't have the support, where your background was too hard, and you tell that story so much, you start to believe it's real. You start to wear it like armor. But hear me, excuses might protect your ego, but they'll never protect your dream. They'll never make you powerful. They'll never make you unstoppable. They'll only keep you stuck. You say, I'm tired. So what? You think the top doesn't get tired? You think champions don't feel fatigue? You think warriors don't wake up sore, drained, and broken, but still choose to rise? They feel it too, but they don't let it become their excuse. They let it become their fuel. You say, I didn't grow up with support. Neither did half the people out here killing it. You say, I don't have the resources. Neither did the ones who built empires from scratch. So what's really stopping you? Not your circumstances, not your environment, not your family. What's stopping you is the story you keep repeating. That story is your prison. You walk around with chains made of words you said to yourself. I can't. I'm not ready. Or maybe next year. I don't deserve it. That's not true. That's God's fear with a megaphone. And the more you listen, the more you shrink. The more you believe it, the more you delay your destiny. You keep praying for a miracle, but God already gave you one. It's called effort. He gave you breath, talent, a mind, and free will. And you using all of that to make excuses instead of moves. You've got to stop giving your pain a podium. You've got to stop giving your past a pass. Yeah, it was hard. Yeah, you were broken. Yeah, they left you. But guess what? You're still here. You're still breathing. You're still capable. You're still chosen. And now it's your job to choose greatness over comfort. So every time you hear that excuse trying to creep in, trying to seduce you with soft words like a take it easy, or maybe tomorrow, you need to talk back. You need to say, not today. You need to say, I've listened to that voice for too long and it got me nowhere. Excuses will always sound better to you than to anyone else because you made them. You wrote the script, but it's time to write a new one. It's time to take the pen back and stop letting pain, fear, and laziness alter your life. Nobody's gonna believe in you more than you. Nobody's coming to save you. Nobody's gonna hand you your purpose on a silver platter. So stop waiting for validation. Stop waiting for everything to line up. Start moving. Start building. Start becoming. The world don't need another excuse maker. It needs a difference maker. It needs someone who says, no matter what, I'll find a way. Someone who says, if I fall, I'll get back up. Someone who says, I'm not looking for easy. I'm looking for results. Every excuse you make is time you could have used building. Every excuse you make is energy you could have used pushing. Every excuse you make is a delay on the life you deserve. So cancel the pity party. Cancel the blame game. Cancel the comfort zone. And if you need a reason, look in the mirror. That's your reason. That's your why. That's the person who has to live with the choice. So choose discipline. Choose effort. Choose now. Choose real over convenient. Choose purpose over pain. Excuses don't live here anymore. And the moment you silence them, the moment you stop giving them a stage, that's when the breakthrough comes. That's when the real grind begins. And that's when you stop running from your greatness and start running toward it. When you finally get locked in, when you finally get laser focused on beating the old version of yourself, nothing outside of you can stop you. Not the weather, not people's opinions, not setbacks, not circumstances, not betrayal, not a lack of support, none of it. Because now you're not driven by the outside, you're fueled from within. And when your fire comes from the inside, when you're self-powered, self-committed, and self-accountable, nothing around you can shake that foundation. You become unshakable, untouchable. See, most people let the environment dictate their energy. They let other people's moods, the traffic, the bad news, the obstacles, the rejection. They let all that control how they show up. But when you're focused on winning against you, when your only enemy is the weaker version of yourself, then it don't matter if it's raining or sunny. It don't matter if it's Monday or Friday. It don't matter if the crowd is cheering or silent. You move with the same intensity because you ain't playing for applause. You're playing for progress. You're not performing for praise. You're pushing for purpose. That kind of focus is rare, but it's real. It's powerful. It's life-changing.